People will, because we're live. I think. I'm hoping. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children and mice of all ages. I was fine with stream, and then it's not good now. So I don't know what's going on. So if you can hear us, that's okay. There we are. We're sort of here. I think. Okay. Yes, we're here. So welcome. No, we're not. Streaming never works.
I can see it on YouTube, but there's obviously a delay, so I don't know if it was on and then it stopped.
We will. I should have tested this before. I'm really bad.
Nah.
Yeah, we're dropping a lot of frames. What in the wide world of sports did I do? Fun times. My stream is experiencing minor issues. So while I troubleshoot this, Lex Mandrake, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hey, I'm Lex, everyone on the internet. Hello, how are you doing? I hope you're having a lovely
Saturday. Lovely day.
Listen, it's winter, and I live in New England, so it's very cold. It's
I hear it's bad news.
For those in nicer parts of the country,
I'm going to have forever.
No, it'll be fine, because during the actual stream, Ted will be there to help.
Yes, Ted will be streaming this, hopefully, so it'll be great. Yeah, what is going on? Ugh. Technology. All right. Yeah, it's just not doing well. Stream server, check the health of your internet. No, lower my bit rate. I did lower my bit rate. What bit rate should I stream at OBS? Regular should be that. Okay. All right, we're gonna, ladies and gentlemen, if you can hear me, we're gonna lower the bit rate one more time. And we're back. This bitrate should be low enough that we're okay. I want to say. YouTuber. On the we played. There was a wizard. It was a Frankenstein monster.
Oh, the Castle of Dr. Bonesaw, MD.
Yes,
was the name of that adventure.
Yes, which is on YouTube if you want to look for it. But
yeah, and the Dank Dungeons channel, we have a couple one shots on there. We should have done more of those. We should still do more of those.
Yes, they were fun. That was fun.
Yeah,
I had a good time.
That was I don't know if I was technically in that game. I think
no,
my friend Chris was DMing it.
You popped in and you were like, "Hey everybody, it's a Dank Dungeon something or other," and now my friend's gonna run it, and I was like, "Oh, cool!" And so yeah, but yes, and then later on you ran Dungeon Crawl Classics for me,
and that was on Ted's channel.
And that was on Ted's channel, which is where the Rod of Seven Parts will be. It will be on Nerd Immersion's channel on Twitch, so watch it there. Yeah.
Mm. And that's going to be Wednesdays?
Wednesdays at 8:30 Eastern. Yeah.
It's going to be good. It's going to be real good. There are so many spellcasters in this group.
Yes.
We're all wizards,
except for the rogue, who can't take a lot of hits. So
For a second, I thought the rogue was going to be trickster rogue, like an arcane trickster rogue.
And then we'd all
cast arcane spells.
We'd all be in sync. That would be awesome.
Yeah,
I like it.
But no, luckily we don't all just cast arcane spells. There's a little bit of variety in the group. We've got. Can I talk about all the different classes?
Yes.
Is that cool?
Yeah. Go ahead. Talk about yourself. What are you playing?
So I'm playing Shifter. Who is an illusionist wizard, specifically a cowled wizard of Om. Basically, when Jordan asked me if I wanted to play in this game, I thought, oh, that'll be great. And then he said, well, it's going to be Forgotten Realms centric. And I thought, I know so much about Forgotten Realms.
Yeah.
Almost as much as Jordan, but not as much as Jordan. And I really wanted
You might know more. I don't know. I'm a hack, so.
I wanted to bust out all my lore knowledge and make something that is very specific to the world. So
Which is exactly what I was looking for. I was so excited. I'm like, I wanted all of you to be like, no, I'm gonna be like from this region and stuff, and that was what I was hoping for. So
I threw out a bunch of suggestions initially because I had a bunch of different ideas. I was thinking one of them was like a Mulharandi priest, which would have been like an Egyptian priest. I might have even had like a helmet that looked like an animal. That would have been great. I was almost a Rashemi witch or barbarian, maybe. I was almost what was it called? A Narfeli warlock.
okay.
And then I almost was a Kalashite merchant. And yeah, because I was just like, I definitely want to make something specific to this world. So those were just all the things I thought of off the top of my head, and they're all very specific.
Yeah.
But I was really excited for a bunch of different things, and I chose Cowled Wizard, which is funny because I haven't actually played Baldur's Gate 2. Which is when Cowled Wizards are like really prevalent in that game.
So I made my video on Cowled Wizards because you were like, I'm going to be a Cowled Wizard from And I'm like, oh, okay. I don't actually know that much about him. I better make like a lore video on it. So that's where that video came from. And then the comment section was like Baldur's Gate 2 heavy. Like everyone's just like, oh, those jerks. They like come in here and they do this. And like, I get so frustrated with them. And yeah. And I was like, wow, people really hate the Cowled Wizards. Apparently
they're very annoying in that game. But I had read about them in other books. Like, I have the Lands of Intrigue books from second edition, which first talks about that whole concept. And mostly I bought them because I wanted to read more about Kalimshan, because I'm a really big Kalimshan fan. But I also like a lot. Tethir, awful. Throw it out. Not interested.
So
but yeah, so I like the idea that they were this kind of police force of arcane magic users, and that they never showed their faces. And their identities were always hidden. And it got me thinking a lot about like shadowy government organizations and espionage and stuff like that, and like the CIA in modern terms. So I thought, I definitely want to do something like that. And then I researched it a little more, and I realized, it doesn't actually make sense to be a Cowled Wizard as an adventurer, because they're a domestic police force, basically. They stop people from casting spells if they're in And what's wrong with Tethir? Nothing. I was just throwing shade in a jokey way. They're a fun feudal place to play in the Forgotten Realms.
And Joseph, I'm going to say, no, we don't have Eberron races in this game, because this is going to be a Forgotten Realms game. So I specifically said we can't have Eberron and we can't have Magic the Gathering races. So, but like, all the other races are available. Like there's tons of races in Forgotten Realms. Sorry, continue. But yes, adventuring Cal Wizard doesn't really exist.
No, it doesn't actually make sense. But I was still so taken with the idea that I didn't want to change my character at that point. So I sort of came up with this thing where the Council of Five, they were originally 6, and now they're 5, who runs apparently the person who's in charge of that council oversees the Cowled Wizards, and then the person like 2 or 3 ranks down oversees the Shadow Thieves. And the Shadow Thieves are the ones who they send out into other countries to do spy stuff. But I thought that's interesting, because then you have the person at the top of the hierarchy doesn't have any say, or I mean they have say, but they don't control the group that does foreign espionage stuff. And I thought, well, there's a lot of shadowy like intrigue and backstabbing and stuff in so would it make sense that the leader of the council would be like, I control the Cowled Wizards, and I feel like the person who controls the Shadow Thieves has a little too much power in the council. What if I made a cell of the Cowled Wizards that's specifically for foreign affairs stuff? And that was kind of my pitch to Jordan, and he was cool with it. So that's my character specializes in illusion. They also do a lot of transmutation and divination magic, and their whole idea is they've been trained to be like a spy. They can shapeshift a lot, thus the name. And they go into foreign lands and kill people who might be threatening in some way, in a very covert way. They acquire things for the Amian government that government doesn't want in the hands of other countries, and destabilize nations, all that good stuff. Real CIA spook type of stuff was sort of
we got a lot of like you did this, and LB, who's going to be one of our other players, and she might join us a little bit later. She said she was somewhat busy, but you guys are like not the nicest of people, and it's kind of weird to be like, yeah, you're gonna adventure together, like and I was like, I'm not running an evil campaign, am I? And I had to like sit down and think about it. I'm like, no, I'm not, but like they're not making it easy, so it's kind of interesting. What is your so you're working as a spook, basically, like to go out and do stuff. Oh, speaking of somebody,
hey.
LB is here.
Hello.
Hi, how are you doing? Oh
I'm
my gosh, now I gotta fix all the overlays.
I told you this was gonna happen.
He's like, Jordan, you don't know what you're asking for. It's gonna be terrible.
Don't have people jump in while the stream's going. Everything will be ruined.
Oh, it's awful.
I'm sorry, should I leave?
No, you're good.
No, don't
you're good.
leave. You're great.
And there we go. We're all transitioned. Hi, everybody. Hi, LB. Welcome.
Hi. Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday. We're dropping
kittens.
frames. It's great.
Yeah, cats.
I apparently don't know how to stream, so
Oh, well,
that's fun.
you know, it's good to start.
Yeah, you gotta start somewhere. So
Yeah, don't you literally stream every Saturday?
So I did, and I streamed the Saturday morning D&D show today, but I used OBS instead of Streamlabs OBS.
Oh.
And for this, I'm like, oh, well, I want to use Streamlabs OBS so I don't like mess up my settings, but that was dumb because these settings are not ready for this.
What you need, yeah.
So I don't know. But we're talking about the character that Lex was playing, and he's very excited for.
It's actually perfect because I just finished explaining my character and their kind of like motivations and where they come from and everything. And then we started talking about how my character ties to your character. So it's actually perfect that you showed up when you did.
I mean, I'm going to say it was all fate.
So LB, who are you playing in our Rod of Seven Parts game?
I am playing Siren. She is a tiefling. Oh, that's a video that I don't need to play. She's a tiefling rogue. She's
rogue.
I'm thinking more and more as I think about her character that she is a heck of a lot like Black Widow. And like she grew up in a orphanage. She wasn't an orphan, but she grew up in an orphanage that was a school that was training assassins and spies. Nice. And but she's kind of just like a super spy, like any way to get information. She's basically like any person that meets her that's not one of her friends could meet any side of her or like any one of her aliases, so that'll be fun.
Yeah, we're gonna it's fun. I like to cater games towards the players too, so it's kind of been this like, how do I get all this like spy stuff in here? And I don't know, especially when I already have like a skeletal framework of the Rod of Seven Parts. So,
well, see, that's the thing. As a spy, I'll make it into a spy thing. Like
awesome.
You don't have to cater to it. I'll do it.
I like it. Question for both of you: have you ever? Well, I should have asked this before. But I'm assuming you've never read Rod of Seven Parts, but have you heard of it before?
I've heard of it.
Yeah?
No.
It's really good, but it's pretty famous from what I understand. Like I've dropped it. I tried to run this as a 4th edition game a long time ago, and then 5th edition came out and that game kind of fell through. So I was like, oh, I better do it later on. But I don't know. I really like it. Like, I don't want to give a whole bunch away, and I'm not really giving a whole bunch away, but like its story is called Rod of Seven Parts. There's a rod and it's broken into 7 parts, and you kind of have to like find it for reasons. But it allows me as a dungeon master to send you wherever I want. Because it's like, oh, well, the next piece is like over here in the desert, or it's in Kalimshan, or it's wherever. Yeah. And so I am excited to explore the Forgotten Realms and like not just the Sword Coast. And like we can go where, and we've got awesome wizards, and eventually they're going to learn like teleport or something, and we're going to be able to like teleport wherever the heck we want to go. Yeah. So it'll be really fun.
I was going to say, if we're going to go down to it's going to be like, what, 3 weeks or something to travel from?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
unless we use like teleportation portals or something. But
yeah.
no, it's like, yeah, if you want to like actually get into that, and you could always hand wave that as a DM, like, oh yeah, 3 weeks you traveled and you're here now and it's awesome. But it's more fun to have complications along the way. So yeah. Rod of Seven Parts is a pretty famous magical artifact that they turned into an adventure because it was doing, or it was just kind of like, well, what's the history of this? And so then they made a history for it, which is kind of interesting, which you guys will all be able to see in the live stream that we do. And my plan is, as history and lore unfolds, I will then release videos tying in with the game. Ooh. So if our party members come up with like, oh, we've learned like where this came from, or who's behind this, or X whatever, then I can make a video detailing that. Or if you guys are in a specific part of Faerun and we need to explain it a little bit more, maybe a video could be based on that. And that is weird because we're not, I guess I'm going to announce this now, but like we're not posting the videos of the show here. It's going to be on Ted's Nerd Immersion Plays channel. But if you support me on Patreon, you can listen as a podcast, which is going to be awesome. And we'll see what happens. But I don't know. It's just kind of cool to take to tie it all together. Like I could do this and this and this, and so I'm really excited.
We're just a think tank for your videos, aren't we?
Yes, this is exactly what it is. I've run out of content, and so I need you to just generate new video ideas for me. Oh. Yeah. You look like you're about to say something, Lex. Go ahead.
Oh, well, now I've forgotten what it was.
Oh, no.
Sorry, kittens are distracting.
Oh my god, that's so cute. So yeah, I was gonna ask, are you going to do like audio of like DM prep and stuff on your Patreon as well?
Yes, so I got into live streaming like weekly or bi-monthly my prep for my games. And after baby Oliver was born, I kind of stopped doing that because one, I wasn't playing a lot of games, and two, I TPK'd my group. And so it was kind of like, I don't have a lot. Yeah. Saltmarsh, goodbye. I forgive. Anyway. And I want to do that again. You're not allowed to watch, though. That's the thing. I can't have you guys watch and spoil it. But like, I think it would be fun to be like, oh my gosh, they did this, and now I gotta like dive in, and we gotta craft a thing about this. So I have the first like, I don't know, 2 or 3 sessions mapped out already. But yeah, pending time is like the frustrating thing, because when you have a baby and stuff, it's just hard. But I'm trying to,
Well, that was one of the funny things when you first approached me about this game. Online, you were like, "Hey, I'm gonna do like an 8-month-long campaign that's gonna be weekly on Ted's channel." I'm like, wow, that sounds great. Didn't you just have a child?
Yeah.
Are you? Is that you have time to do? Okay, I mean, sure, I'll play in it.
Yeah, we're getting babysitters figured out. It'll be good. But yeah,
just put them on stream like me.
Yeah. I was thinking we have the baby cam, and I'm like, what if I hack into the baby cam and we just have it in the corner? So like I can, and then the chat can be like, oh my gosh, your baby's hungry. Oh, I gotta go. So it could be a lot of fun. You've all played Forgotten Realms games, I assume, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, what's that?
What is that? I don't know. I almost did. I'm sorry, this is weird tangent, but like I almost did a Eberron game, because in my mind, Rising from the Last War had just come out, and I'd been making a lot of Eberron videos, and it was like on my mind, and I really wanted to jump in and just, I don't know, like that. It's a cool world, like why not? But my patrons and other friends were just like, it's kind of on brand for you to do a Forgotten Realms game. And I was like, oh, you're right, and stuff like that. Or I was even talking to you, Lex. I'm like, I want to run a Dungeon Crawl Classics game, Perils of the Purple Planet. And you were all about it. You're like, yeah, it's going to be so cool. And then that didn't work out. It's not on brand. Maybe eventually.
One day we're going to do that. It's going to happen.
This is the test. And if we get an audience and people are excited and they don't care if I stream other games, then we're doing Invisible Sun. We're doing Dungeon Crawl Classics. It's gonna be so good. Yeah. Really excited. Really excited. I'm sad I'm still dropping frames though. I'm getting really weird messages where it says, your stream is really good. Oh, but your audio bitrate is too low. And then it's like, your stream is really good. Oh, we're having trouble. Like, you're not getting enough information. And so I'm like, I don't know what's sending stuff, but.
Is this on YouTube?
This is on YouTube, yeah.
Hi, YouTubers.
Hello. Welcome.
I have a question for Lex. Lex's character, I should say. What's your character's name?
Shifter.
Oh. I saw that and I thought that was your race.
No races. No like, shifters allowed. No shifters
Why?
allowed.
Why?
Because that's Planescape. Sorry. Or not Planescape. That's Eberron. We can't do that.
Is it Eberron?
Yeah, a shifter is Eberron.
I'm sorry, is Shifter actually a race? I
Yes.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what my character's mother is.
Oh.
This is her right here.
LB has a very detailed backstory.
Oh, yeah.
Involving other characters she's played and the daughter of, and it's crazy.
Yes. These are my parents right here. And then that's her lover. That's her best friend up there. But no, so Shifter, does Shifter follow any gods?
Joaquin, because that's what a lot of people worship in although it's more like a casual religiousness. They're not super pious.
Like when you toss a coin to your Witcher, you're like for or something, or for Joaquin.
Yes.
Joaquin being the god of commerce, and and all of that area down south is like super commerce heavy. So
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I've been reading a lot of the Black Company books. There's so many of those books.
What's the Black Company books?
The Black Company books are, Matt Colville recommends them like all the time, so I keep hearing about them in his streams, but they're about a mercenary company in a fantasy world.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lot of like them dealing with like hard moral decisions and operating in a gray area in a traditional high fantasy setting. So it's kind of a different perspective than what you would expect from a book like that. The writing style is also really interesting because it's very sort of terse. But the thing about the Black Company is they all forego their birth names when they join the mercenary company, and they get titles. So the main character's title is Croaker because he's a surgeon, and then there's like pawnbroker and I don't know, a bunch. And then a lot of the enemies, like the big deal enemies, are these sort of resurrected wizards. Like some of them are kind of like liches and other ones are different. They're all very odd, but they also kind of have titles. And one of them who shapeshifts, their title is Shapeshifter or just Shifter. And I thought, I want to be like a mysterious wizard who plays around with their identity a lot because they assume a lot of different forms when they do espionage. And I work for a government, and I kind of, because I'm a cowled wizard, I don't want to reveal my actual identity or what I look like. So having a title makes more sense to me with that character. So I figured I would go Shifter. And then today I learned that that's a race in Eberron. So I might have wanted to choose something else.
No,
I thought it was in Forgotten Realms. I thought it was in one of the books. Maybe not.
You mean the book Eberron Rising from the Last War?
No, because it's
that's
on
the book it's
Beyond.
in. Yeah, but D&D Beyond has Eberron content. And Shifter came out with Wayfinder's Guide to Eberron with the PDF that was official. So.
Oh, okay. Anyways.
And a lot of people do import those races because they like those races into whatever game they're running. And that's actually a fun segue because I run a Forgotten Realms channel-ish. Like, I'm doing other lore, but I run a lore channel. And I have not read all of the books. And so it's dangerous to run a game in the Forgotten Realms when people will correct you. And I'm anticipating that, where they're like, in 1421, Jordan, the Archwizard of Ferdinand came into Silvermoon. And, so we're gonna, and I'll probably say this on the first couple streams just so people know that this is gonna be Jordan's Forgotten Realms. Yeah, like I'm gonna use that world and make it my own, which is what Wizards of the Coast and everybody always intended you to do with any campaign setting. Like, they want you to take it and do what you want. And the idea of this living world is really cool, but I think a lot of people get hung up on, well, if the current year is 1491, then we have to play like right here. And that means that the acquisition people are over here and over here. And I'm like, well, what if I want to I'm going to play in like 1320 and we're going to do that, like pick I don't know, and then this never happened and I'm going to do that. So I don't know.
Yeah. Just don't tell them the year.
Yeah, that's
that
true.
will solve the problem.
Yeah. Kyle, I'm going to be the DM. And these are my 2 players. And I've got 2 more players, Brenna and Ted, and they are just not here because this was kind of impromptu. Like, hey, you guys want to hang out and we'll promote the stream. Stream is going to be Wednesday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern on Twitch. But I will be posting all of the links on the YouTube channel for you to hopefully go there and watch us. So
check the tweets.
Yes.
Check the Twitters.
And then we'll have a reverse albino elf ranger with a panther and 2 swords. And he's going to be like my DM NPC. And he's going to run around with all the players. It's going to be great. His name's Fritz.
A reverse albino.
Yeah.
So he's a drow?
What? No, it's my own race, a custom Forgotten Realms race.
So
it's really good. His name is Fritz Jorphdan.
Is this the potato guy? Are we gonna have to deal with the potato guy again?
I don't actually know the reference to the potato guy.
Your character in our game on Indoors channel.
Oh, that's right. That was fun.
Rizit.
What was his name? Ristel.
I don't know, but I called him Russet.
Yeah.
And so now we refer to him as the potato guy.
That's right. That was a lot of fun. And I just, sorry, segue for that, but like that was me playing a drow priest of Gonador. And Gonador is not the type of god that usually does healing and stuff. So I ended up playing a warlock of the Great Old One to represent that. I just finished a video where I reviewed Faiths of the Forgotten Realms 2 that has subclasses for Sorcerer and Druid of Gonador. So you can be a Druid of the Ooze or a Sorcerer of the Ooze. And I'm like, this is what I wish this was out, like, or I wish I had discovered it before I did that stream with you so I could have done that. It would have been a lot of fun. But Lex, where do you want to go in the realms? Like if you were like, hey, got the whole world open.
It's funny. I was playing in a 2nd edition AD&D game like a year ago, and the DM was like, where do you guys want to go in the realms? Because we just been in like Cormyr up to that point, like the really stereotypical like knights in shining armor fantasy part of Forgotten Realms. And I was like, oh my god, I don't even know where to begin, Ian. Hold on. Let me write it down. But yeah, no, I love the Old Empires area. I think it's really cool. I love the Unapproachable East. I think that's really cool. Like pretty much every nation that you run into there is really flavorful and interesting, and I think is not highlighted nearly enough. Yo, Imiskar, it's good. But the like even Agrelond, which is which is the what's her name? The symbol, right?
Oh yeah, I understand. Yeah. Elminster's like person that he trained and what have you. I forget her name. Yeah, the symbol
is really cool. Faye actually gets a decent amount of play in a lot of the adventures, not because you go there, although there's that Doom Vault adventure, but mostly because we see the Red Wizards all over the place. So I feel like Faye is like kind of covered, even though we don't go there very often. But Rashamen is really cool. Unther I like a lot because I like mythological Persia. I think is really neat. The Sea of Stars, right, is really cool. And Narfell is really cool because of all the demon stuff. Where else? Oh, I don't really know very much about the Shar. Isn't it kind of like sub-Saharan Africa, sort of like Great African Plains type?
I don't remember.
Setting?
It's like Halfling Town.
Okay.
And dwarf. There's a lot of dwarves there too. But yeah, I don't know the actual like topography of it or whatever. But I don't know. I really like Fae, and I've been reading up on Fae recently, and you're right. Like the adventures that Wizards of the Coast is coming out with, like those are recurring villains, but they're always like teleporting in from Fae. It would be interesting to go there and actually deal with Zastam and I don't know, liches and stuff. Like it'd be crazy.
Oh yeah, if someone points out Al-Qadim, if we were gonna go outside of the regular continent of Faerun, right? Like Al-Qadim is super cool.
That's probably my favorite Forgotten Realms area. I love the culture. And I've read through all of the second edition stuff, and I ran my long running campaign where I kind of am like, I'm just going to do what I want with you guys. And so I took my home game over here. That's why I keep going like that. But I ran him through Zakara and stuff, and it was so much fun. And they got to go to a bunch of like areas and things. It's really cool.
Also Anarok. That got a lot of play in third edition. There's a lot of adventures dealing with that, but in fifth they haven't touched it too much. And
the Faerun and stuff.
Yeah, oh my god, they're the weirdest, most horrifying monsters in the whole game.
So good.
They're so great. They're so weird. But yeah, and the Netherese, like ruins and stuff, the fact that they had like flying cities was just really, really cool. So plus it's a desert setting, and desert settings are fun.
Desert's really fun.
So yeah, those are a bunch. I'd love to go to like any of those places. Would be really excited for that.
I don't know how knowledgeable you are, LB. Is there somewhere you're very specifically wanting to go?
Well, I've never been to the Sea of Fallen Stars, as I had a character from there, which was really cool. There's a lot of places that I've been in the whole section, but like it's always been someone's interpretation of them as opposed to like, this is the lore, this is what it actually is. But I am actually running a home game where we're going through the islands just to the west. And I've kind of made up what all of the places are.
Cool.
But I'd like to see what they actually are like and go on a pirate adventure or something like that.
Yeah, that would be fun. That's the thing is like, there's so many, part of the reason I like the Forgotten Realms a lot is like, oh, you want to do like a deserty thing here, go here. Do you want to do like a traditional medieval, go here. You want to have pirate adventures here. And like, I don't know, like, and then we all can play in the same world. And when you meet somebody and you're like, oh, you play D&D, like, yeah, this one time I was in Luskin, and they're like, I was in Luskin. And I don't know, it's just, that's the joy of playing. So Lucian, he's in chat. Hi, Lucian. He just finished Tomb of Annihilation, and I like that adventure a lot. And it's one of those things where if you met somebody who also ran that or played in it, you have like an instant connection. It's kind of like when you meet somebody for the first time and you talk about a movie that you're like, oh yeah, that's really cool. This shared gaming experience that we have. And so homebrew is awesome. I don't want to discredit that. And I really like homebrew. And I do take whatever I am running and make it my own. But there's something to be said of like, oh man, you ran a Rod of Seven Parts game. Like I did too. And you kind of compare notes and talk about things, and it's just fun. So, but yeah, the Moonshade Isles would be cool. I like the Sea of Fallen Stars a lot, especially for, I think there's a sunken city under there that got pulled under during the Spell Plague. I can't specifically remember off the top of my head, but so that would be cool. And then just like sunken ships and all sorts of, or you could make up whatever you want on the bottom of the ocean. Like it's kind of unexplored, so it's really fun. But we're going to start in Neverwinter for those of you who are curious. Our players are going to start at level 5 because I am tired of level 1. I love D&D, and I feel like level 5 in 5th edition D&D is where I can realize a character that I've been thinking about, and I get fun toys to play with. So if you're new to D&D, level 1 is great. Or if you, I don't know, I'll play a level 1 character, but I really like starting at level 5. So we're going to start at 5 and I think go to 12 to 14. I'm not really sure. I have to like map out your leveling. But that would be, anyway, I'm really excited to do some high level stuff as well and pull monsters from, from the Magic the Gathering book, Ravnica. I'm going to pull monsters from Ravnica and put it in my Forgotten Realms game because monsters I can just do whatever I want with. So So much dropped frames. This is awful. Okay, go ahead.
It's fine. Are we starting, like, can you give me, like, where the first scene is going to take place?
Yes. So sorry. I thought I fixed that. It says it's the same thing that happened when I streamed earlier. This is going to be great because I'm going to stream. This is going to be awful.
So don't worry, because the actual game will. I mean, will it technically be Ted streaming it with
yes.
his software?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
and Ted streams all the time, so he'll be fine. But like,
Yeah.
I'm still connected via Zoom, so if I like,
yeah,
I don't know.
But if that happens, then we'll just riff.
Yeah.
we'll just talk. So don't worry.
But I forgot your question, LB. You were saying
where's the first scene?
Oh, the first scene. So the backdrop is that weird stuff is happening in Neverwinter.
Mm-hmm.
There's kind of this like foggy miasma that's like going through the city, and odd things are happening, like dirt's turning blue, or flowers are like wilting and dying and things like that. Water is turning to ice and then back to water, and it's not cold, so it's kind of like, how is this happening?
Yeah.
And there is a so that's kind of the backdrop. Like, something weird is happening in Neverwinter, and you guys from various different areas have been dispatched to go figure out what's going on. And so the first scene is going to be at the Golden Cockatrice Inn, which I don't think is an actual inn in Neverwinter, but it's in my adventure that I'm running. So I'm going to put it in Neverwinter because it's Jordan's Forgotten Realms. But yeah, that's that. And it's really cool.
Are we going to be knowing that the other person is there? Because with Lex and me, our characters know each other. Have we like gotten together before this and like, hey, let's go chat? Or
what do you think? I don't know. Like, I was thinking, you guys, I mean, it sounds stereotypical, but like literally the adventure is like you meet in a tavern.
Yeah.
But that's what I was going to have happen. You guys can come into the tavern and be like, oh, hey, you're here. Like, why are you here? And you guys can like swap stories or whatever and figure out what you need to, I don't know, fill in the audience on what's happening. So
sure, that works.
Yeah. That's how it works. I need to go ahead and I'm going to reload my thing so that I can see the chat.
So Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh my
Okay,
gosh.
which Sonic the Hedgehog game was it where it's so janky and broken that like characters would just load in T poses? Like, it was like a common meme I remember seeing.
Wasn't it a 3D one?
It was definitely one of the 3D ones.
Yeah. Was it the one that's like the Kirby ball thing? It wasn't the werewolf one.
There was a werewolf Sonic the Hedgehog game.
Yes.
Fantastic.
He turns into this big monster.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't remember what that one was called. But anyways, now that we're sufficiently off topic.
It's great. It's great. We like it. Yeah. Symbol, awesome. And
we could just look at chat, and that's how we
Sonic
could fill
Unleashed.
time. Like, Sonic Unleashed.
That's the one with the werewolf.
Nice. You know what else is a place that to bring it back to D&D stuff that doesn't I mean, DM's Guild has actually explored it pretty well, but I think in terms of published materials, even during second edition, didn't really do enough with it. But this idea, they set up this idea that Ravenloft and the Domains of Dread, there's like lots of them, and they all have different themes. And one of them is like Egyptian mummy themed, and I always just thought that was really cool. But there's one that's fantasy spooky India. There's the Egyptian one. There's a African Plains one, and it's really neat. And I like that on DM's Guild, I've seen a lot of people make supplements for the different Domains of Dread. But I want to see more of that. I want to.
Yeah.
I also really need to watch that show that I can't remember the name of that like Lisa Penrose does. That's all Ravenloft.
Oh yeah.
What is that called?
I mean, if you're gonna watch a Ravenloft game or a Curse of Strahd game, you should watch Indoor Adventures Curse of Strahd game.
Oh, all right.
Just saying.
That's not her Behold Her pot. No, that's what else?
No.
What is she? Lisa. I just went to her website, but I can't find it. But I know what you're talking about. But no, LB did a really fun Curse of Strahd game where Strahd was a girl.
Yeah.
Right? And that I like, that was a fun twist. And it was just kind of neat. And I thought that was cool. But you guys had that was good. That was a good one.
Yes. It was very fun.
Lucian said, why start in Neverwinter and not Waterdeep? I have a special place in my heart for Neverwinter, and I actually have the 4th edition Neverwinter campaign setting. And so I was rereading that when I was like, I think I'm going to have him start in Neverwinter and just kind of, I don't know, go off that. And Neverwinter has like some fun spell plague stuff, and that's one of the hooks I gave to my players, that they're like, well, there might be something going on with like residual spell plague things, and so we're gonna do that. It's gonna be fun.
Also, it's nobody's home turf, right?
No, yeah, that's true. Yeah, nobody's from there. Whereas a lot of you are from, not a lot, but you're from Waterdeep. So
yeah.
So it was the idea, yeah.
Do you want me to come up with NPCs that my character knows, as far as like contacts?
Yeah. No, that would be awesome. Actually, Ted messaged me. Oh, that's horrifying. You just sent me the picture of the werewolf thing. I just looked at it. Ted sent me a list of NPCs that he knows. And I thought that was really fun. He was just like, just so you know, like because Ted is a failed merchant. That's the background he took. And he's like, here are these other merchants that give me grief for failing. And he listed them out, and I'm like, okay, so I can just use these? He's like, yeah, I don't care. And I'm like, awesome. But how I was going to run it, LB, is that if we run into somebody like an NPC and you want to be like, do I know this person? I would probably say, do you? And you could say yes. And then we would go with that.
Sure.
Or if we're in a situation where you're like, I need this information, can I use one of my call of friends? Yeah. And you'll get like 2 or 3 of them, and then we'll say, sure, you know somebody, you can go talk to them. Jordan might make it difficult for you to find them or something, and then that's adventure. So yeah.
As my background, I took noble instead of like criminal, because without giving her background away, it's more accurate technically. Yeah. So I mean, she is not like, but anyway, so like as the noble things, you get like people know you or that sort of, and I think I'm going to use that more of like as like influence, like, well, my mother would not be very happy about this, or like I answer to this person, who do you answer to? Yeah.
And so even though you're a rogue and you're doing roguish things, you're respected. And people know who you are. They know who your parents are. And so that's where noble background makes sense. What did you choose as a background, Lex?
I chose spy because it was an option.
That makes sense.
Because the variant of criminal is spy. So I was like, done.
I like it.
Yeah.
So much spying.
So, I think we were talking about our characters. All the players were together. We were talking about our characters, and we were just like, does everyone have stealth? I think almost everyone has stealth, except for like our warlock doesn't have stealth. So we're like, okay, so one of the wizards will cast invisibility on the warlock, and then we'll all stealth into every situation.
Yeah, exactly. We don't fight anyone in this game.
No. It'll be 0 combat game. It's gonna be pass fist game. It's gonna be awesome.
Well,
Brenna is playing the warlock, and she's an Aarakocra warlock, a celestial warlock. And I really liked her, what she was doing with it, like where she kind of personally knows her patron, as opposed to like, I made a deal and I never see them. Like she's like in communication with it. And I was like, that's kind of fun. As a dungeon master, I can be like, oh no, like send her, I don't know, gifts or things like, hey, I got you a new magic sword because I heard you're out adventuring. Here you go. Thinking of you. Love, patron. Like,
what kind of Aarakocra is she? Do we know?
I think there's just Aarakocra. Is there variations?
No,
of
I
that?
mean, like, what bird type is she?
Oh, I don't know. Is she an owl or a hawk or something?
Yeah.
We should talk to her about that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that would be cool. But she can fly, and so that's going to complicate things for Jordan. That'll be awesome. So
I was gonna say you let us have 1 rare magic item or 2 uncommon magic items, and I chose an item that lets me fly.
So, there you go.
Nice.
Do you have the cloak of the bat or?
No, I have an ebony fly.
Oh, the ebony fly. That's right. Yeah.
Ooh.
So
I was going
me
to
and one
ask what
other
your
person-
thing was.
Yeah. It's a figurine. I have a miniature of a fly that turns into a fly the size of a horse. It's a horse fly. And I
That's
assume
weird.
I could fit two
I've seen a
people on it comfortably.
dragonfly, but I've never seen a house fly.
You guys are the
Um,
worst.
Bad.
Bad. You're
Well,
fired.
you're a dad now, so you have
Yeah,
license to
I
make
have. Well, yeah, it came in the mail like the day after Oliver was born. It's like
certificate.
bad jokes. Here you go. You just flash that at restaurants and they understand.
Mhm.
Do you have your ultimate move figured out, Lex?
Oh no, I haven't even thought about it. I forgot. I need to figure out my ultimate move.
Oh my god.
So something Ted does on his stream, which is really cool, is you can donate money to give our players rerolls and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And if they bank them and they get 10 of these, they can use an ultimate move. So we've been working, well, I think LB is the only one who's actively been thinking about it because nobody else has contacted me about ultimate moves. But eventually they're going to have these alts that they'll be able to do. And it's going to be, I don't know, we're trying to make it balanced, but also feel cool and powerful and something that scales with you level wise.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's something that I hadn't thought of doing in a D&D game before, but it fits D&D for me. Like I like it.
Yeah.
Here's a question about it. Should it be something I'm expected to use in combat or outside of combat?
I think either. Like LB was talking about, she had a in combat one and an out of combat one, and I won't give it away, but I think you went with the out of combat one.
I did.
Or
I mean,
the
I don't
one
mind talking about it.
It was more, well, I don't know if I guess we
It
can
was
spoil
stealth
it. But
based.
like,
Yeah.
But yeah, like I think either one is kind of fun.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and this would be good because Shifter would know if she's done this before. She has her ultimate move is that she gets do we say true invisibility for 1d4 hours?
Something like that. Yeah, we're going to do invisibility that doesn't require concentration and doesn't disappear with an attack kind of a thing.
And then she gets hasted for a minute.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I pictured it as the, like, you know, Lee Rock from Naruto when he takes off his leg things and he's just like shifting around and hitting. She's going moving so fast like that.
Nice.
We should all everything should be from Naruto. It's gonna be
It's
Naruto.
Okay, I'm sorry. We're scrapping all of our characters. It's not D&D anymore. We're playing Naruto now.
All right. Cool.
You summon 15 illusions of you that all channel a ball of chakra in their hand, and
I make a very emo character who controls sand.
Yes,
that's gonna be it. But no, I'm thinking, okay, off the top of my head, I either want, if it's out of combat, I want something that's like a mass modify memory for a limited period of time.
Ooh, that'd
so
be good.
I can like walk into a place and be like, oh, I'm so and so, and they'll be like, yes, I've always known you my whole life, and like everyone in the castle will just know me, and I'll just be able to walk in.
Just that Jedi mind trick everyone.
Mm-hmm. And if it's in combat, it would probably play more on illusion stuff. It'd be something like, I don't know, like what Doctor Strange does in Infinity War when he makes a bunch of versions of himself and then attacks. Spoiler, Doctor Strange fights Thanos in
Doctor Strange
Infinity War movie.
He's my favorite. So good.
But I remember seeing that movie and just being like, that's the coolest wizard thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. And like, and felt very well, I guess wizard. I was going to say it feels very Doctor Strange what he did in that movie. And I was like, that's so cool. But really, it just feels very magical and wizard-like. And like, I'm going to duplicate and then surround you. And I don't know. It's really cool. Like, and that felt like an alt. Like, he can't do that every day.
Yeah. You only have so much mana.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you guys have anything else? Any other questions you want to talk about? I don't want to keep you too long, but.
What potions? Was it you that has the rule about max? No, I think that's. But so like, how common are we gonna? Because we don't have a healer, right?
You have a tank. Celestial warlock, and you're the tank as the rogue. So
I am a sniper. Yeah, no, I'll be the tank as long as they come to me.
Yes, the character with the sniper rifle. The DM's like, "Hey, you're the tank in this situation."
Yeah.
So
Okay.
you know.
No, it's a really unique group. We'll see if it we'll see if it works out. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Well,
but the Celestial Warlock has limited healing.
Mhm.
And we don't know about I mean you don't really potions are somewhat plentiful, but I don't have like hard and fast rules, but I don't want to abuse it because you guys will get so much money that you're like, I want to buy 2,000, things worth of potions. So in the past, I've usually been like, oh, you're at a shop and I roll a die secretly and I say, oh, you know what? He only has 3 in stock. Yeah. So if you want to buy those 3, you can. Yeah. But they're not, I mean, the Forgotten Realms magic items are pretty plentiful, but yeah. So.
It's interesting because we're all like, we don't have a tank, but a lot of us are not particularly squishy. Like, because we have like a rogue and a warlock who are, I mean, they're kind of squishy, but they're not super squishy. And then my wizard and Ted's wizard are both sort of geared to be able to take a few hits or like deal with combat situations fairly well. Like I have like mirror image, and I'm probably going to be using that a lot. So there's going to be points where I can go right up to monsters, but I'm not. It's very unlikely that I'm going to get hit and go down immediately. Yeah. So and Ted's character is, without giving too much away, because I let him talk about his own character. I don't want to spoil it. But he also can probably take a few hits and deal with melee combat pretty effectively for the kind of class that he is. So yeah, we're more like we're all kind of middle of the road instead of any of us being to one extreme or the other of like the hit point scale.
Yeah. It's gonna be really fun, and I really like. I have one group, and I'm not saying this in a mean way, but they're kind of green when it comes to RPGs, and there was a lot of like, well, we need a healer, or we need this, or we need that. And I kind of was like that earlier too, because you grow up playing video games and you're like, well, I mean, in like World of Warcraft, we really do need a healer. You can't do this without that. And you need a tank. But RPGs are different. And I feel like you can, I don't know, play the class you want. You don't necessarily need a cleric, especially for 5th edition. And if you have a, DM who is aware of this and rewards with more healing potions or things like that, you can kind of make it work. So I'm not worried about your guys' healing. I think you'll be okay. It is interesting if I throw a lot of like in your face monsters. I'm like, I don't know what you'll do, but Lex will hop on his fly and go 40 feet up and drop a fireball or something. He'll be fine.
I'll leave. Goodbye. No, I mean, 5th edition in general is very, very forgiving with that kind of stuff. I mean, just with the way short rests work in 5th edition, it's so hard to die in 5th edition, everyone. Like, come on.
Especially, my other group they're level 13 now, and short rests are just like, oh no, I used 3 hit die. I'm back to full. And I'm like, wow, like, it's crazy. So later on I wish there was more mechanics that utilized hit die. And I always go back to like a vampire type class that could expend hit die to do more damage or something, but then would have to like bite somebody to get hit die back. But it's an interesting part of the game that they were like, yeah, you guys have hit die, and then they don't use it for magic items. They don't really use it for a lot of different things. And so I don't know, there should be a class. Maybe the psionic class should use hit die in some interesting way. That would be cool.
That would be cool. I know like 50 million people have made versions of Blood Magic for the DM's Guild. Yeah. And I'm sure one of them uses that.
No, I'm sure they do too. Yeah. But that's another, and that's, I've been going through the DM's Guild a lot lately because I'm just realizing that so many awesome people are publishing some really great stuff there. I mean, we have the Lex Mandrake of Joy of Cooking with Monsters with us right now. But you're like looking for it where I want to plug it.
No, I just heard something from outside my house to make sure something.
But lots of really good stuff, because I remember going in its infancy and people were uploading just kind of meh stuff.
Anything,
and you're like, well, it's cool. You were clearly working on this for your 3.5 game and you made it for 5th edition so you could upload it and sell it for $1. But the uncaged stuff has been really good. Like the layout of that is really awesome. And I don't know, there's just been some really like knock it out of the park stuff lately. This Faiths of the Forgotten Realms that I've been reviewing on the channel, I really enjoy. And it makes me want to run an expanded game. For this one, I was very much like, hey, I want to use like whatever stuff, but if we could, I don't know, custom magic items, like that might be something. And actually LB was talking about like, hey, I kind of want like this crossbow that does this. And so we were generating a custom magic item for her. And that could be a lot of fun if later on you're like, I really want something like this. And I'm like, okay, so it could be a lot of fun.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff out there. I'm always really hesitant when I run games to let players use player options from the DM's Guild unless they're like player options I've already looked through. Because then you get that kind of problem that anyone who ran D&D during like 3rd edition will remember, where it's like people will just bring splat books from like all over the place, and then it's just like nothing balances well together and it's a mess. But I have used a lot of the Guild Adept and some other DM's Guild stuff as a DM when I've run games. Like there was an intro adventure that I feel like it was James Introcaso wrote for Tomb of Annihilation called Cellar of Death. And while the adventure itself, I'm like fine with, nothing amazing about it, but it was okay. It introduced this concept that I loved to that campaign that like made it work super, super well. Which was this idea that the PCs have to come together in session 1 and create an NPC that they all know somehow, either like a family member or something else. And then you as the DM give that NPC the death curse. And then the NPC suffers from it and dies or is dying. And then that's the first motivation to make the players go off into Chult and try and fix it. Which was just such a great thing, and I was really happy that was a Guild Adept thing. So it was such a great sort of addition to the adventure. And a couple other things that were also Guild Adept stuff. Ruins of Mesro I used a lot of, that just sort of fleshed out the peninsula of Chult some more, so there were more material for my adventurers to explore. So yeah, the DM's Guild is great. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a best-selling DM's Guild off. but no, there's a lot of good stuff on there, seriously.
It's really great. Thank you guys for joining me. It was really nice that you came out and could talk for the live stream. I want to thank everybody in chat for hanging out with us, and I really, really hope you guys can check out our game either live on Wednesdays or catch the VOD. And if you want to listen to it on a podcast, I'm going to be putting that on the Patreon. You can join my Patreon for as little as $1 a month. And it really helps me out and helps with the channel growing and things like that. I'm so excited. You guys are all fun too. That's why I'm really excited, is because you just have like excited, fun players. And I think we're all going to click well, and it's going to be good. So it'll be really awesome. Any last thoughts about the Rod of 7 Parts? We'll say this. What are you most excited about? I don't know. Maybe nothing. You're like, we don't know the game yet. I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
That was a dumb question, Jordan.
Learning everyone's... I've never played with any of the people we're playing with, so I'm excited to see everyone's play style. And honestly, I love people who comment on videos and stuff and like tell us what they think of our characters or get really excited or that sort of thing. So, I don't know. Community.
Yeah, one of the things I love about streaming on Twitch is when you have a really good engaged Twitch chat and you get to joke around with them during the game.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fun. But mostly, yeah, I'm just excited because I've heard the adventure is such like a staple and such a really good adventure, but I know basically nothing about it. So I'm just going in blind to something that I've heard really good things about. So I'm really excited to see where the story goes.
Yeah. I really, really like this adventure. Like I said, I've been wanting to do it for a while. I'm actually surprised. I guess Wizards of the Coast wants to release new stuff, but with how like fun this is and how it kind of encapsulates a lot of the lore and stuff that they've been promoting lately, I'm very surprised that they haven't tried to remake this for 5th edition. And who knows, maybe we'll get March 1st, they'll announce the next book and it's going to be a Rod of Seven Parts remake, and I'll do a facepalm and walk off. But it's really cool. And I think I'm excited to take you guys all over Faerun and just go to cool things. And my favorite part about all of this is what I'm most excited about. Sorry, I'm boring you, LB.
Oh, dude, no. I've only had one Red Bull today. Okay. So.
But what I'm really most excited about is that I don't know where we're going to go. I know that you have to do X, Y, and Z, and I know we have to go there, but I don't know the people you're going to meet. I don't know the locations that we're going to need to go. And I've learned that through doing a lot of sandboxy games, that I personally enjoy games like that more, where like there might be like Lex is from like your character's from Shifter's from And so if Shifter says, you know what, I have a connection in that could help us do whatever we need to do, all of a sudden I get a prep next week with a whole bunch of stuff that I was not like planning on. And allowing that to happen makes all the game feel more personable and things like that. And so I don't know, that's what I'm really excited for, is that I don't know what's going to happen. Like, I like that. Because you could easily just be like, well, you've got to go to the Sword Coast and you have to do this and stuff. So it's awesome. But yeah. And again, this is going to be, people are saying Thursday at 2:30, but maybe that's because European time. Okay. Yeah. It's an adventure from 2nd edition AD&D. You can find it on the DM's Guild if you want. It's fun. It's cool. It's what I'm going to be. It's the rough skeleton I'm using to make this game happen. We are going to stream Wednesdays on Nerd Immersion's Twitch channel. And I can't emphasize that enough because I feel a lot of people are going to be like, why aren't you streaming on your YouTube? But it's a partnership that me and Ted wanted to do. We talked about this last Gen Con, just because I personally didn't want to cultivate a huge Twitch following, and he wanted to expand his YouTube and stuff like that. So we're kind of just cross promoting each other, and he's a friend, and it's awesome. So that's what's happening there. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you, special guests Lex Mandrake and LB Hackemup. You can follow them on the Twitters where they post interesting things. I guess. I don't know. I barely read your tweets, so
not a single interesting thing. But yeah, I'm on Twitter at Dank Dungeons.
Yeah, at Dank Dungeons.
I'm on Twitter at LB Hackabup.
All right. Thank you guys so much. I'm on Twitter at Jordan with a silent PH in the middle, and we will see you this Wednesday on Twitch. Come say hi and tell them Jordan sent you.